I'm Andrew Wallace, consultant shoulder and elbow surgeon at the Fortius Clinic in London, and I'll be describing a shortened version of the flying swan technique for labral repair that I developed with Susan Alexander, consultant shoulder and elbow surgeon at the Royal National Orthopaedic Hospital, Stanmore. The video begins after I have implanted the first two Bioraptor knotless anchors at firstly the 5 o'clock position and secondly the 1 o'clock position using the standard Bioraptor knotless insertion technique. This provides a spot weld with a simple suture construct at each position. One suture from each anchor is then cut and discarded at this point, and the two remaining sutures are retrieved from the superior cannula with a suture manipulator. The diagram here shows the state of the repair at this point. The next step is to pass the remaining suture limb from the 5 o'clock anchor back through the labrum so it sits on the capsular side. To do this, I use the Acupass 45-degree suture passer. First, penetrate the labrum just superior to the implanted anchor, then wheel the monofilament loop through the labrum into the joint. Grab the loop with the suture manipulator and retrieve through the superior portal. Make sure you have the correct ultrabraid suture by grasping it with the suture manipulator and retrieving from the superior portal. Then thread one limb of the ultrabraid suture through the monofilament loop externally, pull the tail ends of the monofilament, and shuttle the ultrabraid suture through the labrum and out through the inferior cannula. Repeat this process at the 1 o'clock anchor, penetrating the labrum with the Acupass crescent just inferior to the implanted anchor. Again, retrieve the monofilament loop from the superior cannula. Pass the ultrabraid suture from the 1 o'clock anchor through the monofilament loop and pull on the tails from the inferior cannula. This passes the ultrabraid back through the labrum and leaves it on the capsular side along with the 5 o'clock ultrabraid, as depicted in the diagram in the top right corner. First, load the Acupass crescent in reverse with the monofilament tails now exiting the tip of the Acupass. Penetrate the labrum at the 3 o'clock position, exactly at the point of the drill hole. Advance the monofilament tails into the joint and remove the Acupass. Retrieve the monofilament tails from the superior cannula. Pass both limbs of ultrabraid suture through the loop end of the monofilament. Pull on the monofilament tails to shuttle the sutures through the labrum. Retrieve both sutures through the inferior cannula, as this was used to drill the hole at the start of the procedure and will give the correct angle of insertion for the final Bioraptor knotless. Load the ultrabraid sutures through the Bioraptor knotless using the suture threader and pass the Bioraptor knotless down the inferior cannula to the 3 o'clock drill hole position. The green stay suture can be removed at this point. Apply some preliminary tension to the repair and then impact the anchor, burying the laser mark so it sits flush to the cortex. Now apply your final tension to the repair construct by individually tensioning the ultrabraid sutures. The suture tabs on the fins of the inserter can hold one suture while the other is tensioned. Once you're happy with the tension, lock the sutures inside the anchor by turning the torque limiter clockwise until a few loud clicks are heard. Release the sutures from the fins and remove the inserter from the anchor with a single blow from the mallet, taking care not to wiggle the inserter as this can compromise anchor security. Cut the ultrabraid sutures flush to the anchor and your repair is complete. Finally, assess the integrity of the repair using a hook probe from the inferior cannula, and you should find that the labrum moves as one with the glenoid. You can then inspect the repair from the anterior cannula and you should see the two limbs of the flying swan inserting into the 3 o'clock position.